just tell us about your show.
Well, the show's called The Book of Face, and it's a kind of nonsense show based on social media and religious cults, very loosely, because we were struggling for a few months to come up with an idea for a show, and we really only got a show idea together about a month before coming up here. We worked with a guy called Logan Murray. He's a famous comedy teacher. He's taught lots of famous people, not Gilbert. And so we've been working with him, and so it's the idea of things that people do on Facebook, and also sort of mixing in that with sort of cult religions like Scientology and so forth. And it's basically a kind of nonsense show in the tradition of English nonsense, stuff like Lewis Carroll and Spike Milligan and Goons and stuff like that.
Alright, so have you only performed it here at Fringe?
I have performed at last year's Fringe in someone else's show, a chap called Barry Ferns. I had a small part in that. I've been personally going for about 2 years, and the other people in the troupe, there's three others, two of them, Tammy Stone and Fenella Fudge. I met those two on another Logan Murray course a couple of years ago. So we got together with this other guy called Henry Von Stuyck, who's been going a bit longer, to sort of, because we're all like minds, you know. Tammy Stone is a musical comedian.
Yeah. She
She came runner-up in Golden Jester, which is a big competition. So that's how it came about, and that's what the show's about.
What has the audience been like here at Fringe? Do they heckle or anything, or?
Well, you see, this is typical Fringe, really. I've got to be careful what I say, really, but we're not really in the heart of the Fringe, really, here. There are different sort of areas of it, mainly around the Royal Mile, but other places as well. I mean, it's all over Edinburgh, but it's a bit of a funny venue. No, I mean, it's a pretty gentle sort of comedy, and because we're on at 5 o'clock, we tend to get sort of audiences of sort of families and older people. It's a very different experience from doing a late night show where people have had a few drinks, and you've really got to be prepared for people walking, or more likely they're so drunk they're talking on their mobile phones, which I had last night. So no, but we were kind of heckled by a baby, 2-year-old baby that we had. We had 4 people, obviously friends, and 2 of them were the parents of the baby. The baby was about 18 months, 2 years. The baby absolutely adored the show and joined in. And we mainly performed for the baby. And you know the bucket thing, because it's a free Fringe.
Oh yeah.
But it's sort of free, but it's not free to get out. So people do. It's up to people to put in a couple of quid or so. But they put in a lot of money. We were quite humbled by it. So they obviously loved it.
Oh.
So that's the only heckling a baby.
Oh.
But it's made it feel real.
So you've been at Fringe this year and last year.
Yeah.
What do you think of the general atmosphere here? Like, because obviously it's so many people from around the world in one location.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Because it's not like any normal festival; it takes over the city.
Yeah, I'm a novice really. I've only, last year was my first year. I've never come up as a punter, and I find it absolutely frenetic, and it does my head in, because you've got such a choice of things to do. And this mental atmosphere of, it's so much too much of a good thing really, like being in a sweet factory. You don't know. I mean, it's marvellous, and I've got to say, I find the people in Edinburgh are incredibly hospitable. I'm not just saying that. They really are. They're taxi drivers. You wander into a sort of real locals pub, and they make you welcome. So that's really nice. But the whole atmosphere is absolutely crazy, I think.
Yeah. Well, it is, because there's so many people here, isn't there?
Yeah.
There's no one constant. It's not like they're all just Scottish or English or anything.
No, it's international.
Yeah, they're from everywhere. And lastly, I don't know if you probably have had some chance to see other shows here, but what would you recommend from this year?
Well, for comedy, there's a chap called Terry Alderton who does amazingly brilliant. He's a performer. He's a comic performer, absolutely fantastic. He's got a one-man show. There's a very funny guy, if you like nonsense, which is a bit like our show. He calls himself Mr. Susan. Non-comedy, there's a marvellous Irish singer who I'm a huge fan of, called Jack Bluchman. He calls himself Jack L because he does a lot of covers of Jacques Brel. And he's got, I mean, he's quite a big star actually, very big in Ireland. So there's things like that. But I haven't caught that much, you know, there's a Brecht double bill called Roughs, which I'd quite like to catch. I mean, there's just so much.
Yeah.
Oh, and I mustn't forget Barry Ferns himself, because he's my hero. And every day at 1 o'clock, he climbs up Arthur's Seat and he performs there. It doesn't matter what the weather's like or what sort of audience.
Wow.
And on Saturday coming, he has the gala day, and he always gets some big names because he's, you know. So on Saturday, the biggest thrill for me will be going up Arthur's Seat with a big company in Tony Law. I don't know if his family are up this year. They get people like Arthur Smith, and they perform there. And Barry's a legend, so yeah, that's the highlight for me.
Okay.